Welcome back to Triple B, where we are Black, beautiful, and brave. I am Candy.
And I'm Ayana, and we're glad that you decided to join us as we discuss topics that we find interesting to us as Black women who are Christian and single.
Mm. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and to share with your friend or anyone you may know that might find these topics intriguing. Right? Very interesting. And so, this chapter, we are looking at being content. And today we have a very interesting topic. Very interesting. Um, some people may say it's a new concept. It may not have been a new concept, but putting it to words is different.
Mm.
And today, to
Mhm.
help us to have our conversation, as Ayana and I always have maybe some opposing ideas or perspective, we want to add
Mm.
another person to our conversation. She's no stranger to you. She's been with us before.
And
We
she
have,
has.
yes, and we have Brittany.
Brittany. Hey, Brittany.
Brittany, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me again.
Wonderful. We're so happy that you were able to join us and give us some feedback, some food for
Mhm.
thought that we can all, because you're great at that. And so today we want to talk about, we're all single, and I
Yes.
think we're all, let me not say we're open to mingle, right?
Oh, we
But
need to ask.
mingle,
Well, yeah, we're assuming Brittany's open to mingle.
okay, at least we can say confidently that Ayana and I are open to mingling, right? And so mingling can look different for
Mm.
everyone,
Mm.
right? What does mingling look like? And so when I say mingle, dating, that's it. Not trying to be too
Mm.
deep with it.
Mhm.
Dating. Okay. Dating. And so before dating other people, um, the idea of or concept of dating yourself is something that I find quite interesting. Dating yourself. And what does that look like? Should, and usually they'll say after a breakup or after an end of a relationship, you date yourself. Now, I'm all here for it, for dating yourself. Do I date myself? I think I do. I think I do. But for you two ladies, what do you think about when you hear dating yourself? So we'll go with Brittany first. What does dating yourself mean? Is that something that you're open to? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, and I know people interpret it in many different ways, but for me, dating yourself is really just literally learning how to enjoy your own company. Not in a selfish way, right? But just it is important to actually be able to be by yourself, to do things by yourself, learn what your hobbies are, explore what it is that you like or don't like, try like and it helps, I think, helps you figure out your purpose in life, right? Because if
Mm.
I've never tried new things, how do I know whether I like them or not or what I'm good at? And some things give you more inspiration to become better at what you want to do. So, and you never know who you're going to meet also when you're dating yourself, just out, doing all the things that you want to do.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay, Brittany, I hear you.
I
I hear
know.
you, Brittany. I hear you. Yes. Now, Iana, dating yourself.
Yeah, so when I hear dating yourself, because it's not a new concept, my impression is that you're actually going out doing stuff by yourself. So whether you're taking yourself to dinner or to the movies, or you're traveling to a new country, um, going to places you've never been by yourself. So that's my definition of dating yourself.
Mm. Now, are you opposed to it? I mean,
um,
or I should say, not are you opposed to it? Have you dated yourself?
I mean, I've done it before and I don't like it. I don't like
Mm.
it. I mean, I think there are other ways you can get to know yourself. If dating yourself is staying at home, reading a book, cleaning the yard, or something like that, then sure, I've done that. But if dating yourself is dressing up and intentionally going to dinner, having a 4-course meal by myself, then no, I don't enjoy doing that.
You don't like dressing up for yourself?
I can dress up for myself, but I don't have to go out by myself.
Interesting. I mean, here's my thought. Going out to do something by myself is something that I don't necessarily would enjoy naturally because I'm such an extrovert and that I love feeding off of people. But going to an event or going to something where there are other people, I can do that, right? I'm okay. Now, if I was to be like stand outside in the yard all by myself and watch the stars, lay on the grass and watch the stars, I might only be out there for like 3 seconds looking at, oh, where is the, Orion's belt? Oh, there it is. All right. Okay, time to go in. Versus being able to, if I were to do that with someone else, might be a longer experience. But in dating yourself, do you have to be by yourself or could you be with other people?
I don't know. You'll tell me.
Outside of a romantic relationship.
I know. You'll tell me. But as I said, my definition from how I understood it is you're doing stuff by yourself, with yourself, not necessarily knowing other people.
I have a thing that I call Candy Day. Once a month.
Now this is new. I haven't heard this one.
Listen, I have a thing called Candy Day. On the 15th of every month. Believe you, I will get a notification on the 14th to say on the 15th is Candy Day. That's when I do what Candy wants to do. I want flowers. I will buy myself flowers. If that's going to make me feel good. If I want to do something for myself that I normally would not do, like a guilty pleasure, on Candy Day, I will do it. If I feel like I am going to go, I feel like going to an Italian restaurant. Guess when I'm going to do it? On Candy Day, right? Really pouring into myself. I don't have to wait for someone else or to experience something new or something that I like with someone else. I can do it by myself, right? This is something that, at least for me, my sister shared the idea. That's what she does. And I'm like, I love it. I'm taking it. So, Ayana, if you had Ayana Day, would you not embrace it?
It doesn't even sound right, like Ayana Day. Like, I mean, it's like,
to sound right to do it.
So honestly, like for me, I would not go out by myself, but I do spend time by myself. So you said you wouldn't lay on the grass. So I have done it where I've laid in the sun by myself, like in a secluded spot. I can do that for a long period of time. I can do that in a wide open space by myself.
So when
but
you're
I would not
doing
consider
that,
a date, though. I wouldn't consider that.
But when you are doing that, what does that do for you? What's happening?
I mean, it relaxes me. So I don't have Candy Day, but I do have. Years ago,
it wouldn't be Candy Day. It would be Ayana Day. It's not. It can't be your day. That's my day.
It doesn't sound the same. So I am an extrovert. So Candy and I would be extroverts. Brittany's an introvert. But if I have to do something by myself, it will be by myself at home for the most part. Because if I'm not being extrovertish or doing extrovert things, then I want quiet and peace, because everything else around me is like going like this. So during the week, actually, and I've been practicing this for almost 10 years now, I take at least half a day of the week that's for me. I don't have a special name like Candy. We're not all fancy. But during that half a day, that's when I do something that I feel like I need to do. So whether it's going to get ice cream or whatever, I won't do it by myself, though. I'll go get the ice cream and I'll bring it home and I'll share, right? But it's time when I do me. So I might wash my hair. I hardly do if I do my nails, it's at home nails. or I might just sit on the porch and relax, read. So for me, that's my time. So it's not really dating myself, but it's just me time. That's it. I'm not fancy, like I said. We don't have candy day.
I
So
mean,
what about?
I hear what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm,
And I think that, let's say, put it in the context of dating.
mm-hmm,
Would you not be open to the idea of dating, going on a date to where you're just home watching a movie? You guys just go
yeah.
run errands, right? Like
Mm-hmm,
go pick up ice cream, like you mentioned,
mm-hmm,
picking up ice cream, or
mm-hmm.
going to a beach secluded and just laying there, right?
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
a time where you're getting to know this person, are you not?
You
Would
like
you do
me,
that?
like just I mean, like I said, I've done the secluded beach thing. I wouldn't do that now. But I mean, the ice cream home, I do that, but yeah, I wouldn't consider that a date necessarily. And at least in my mind,
Hmm.
you know.
Brittany,
Yes.
I was going to say, what are your thoughts about? I guess Ayana has like different definitions of what dating
Right.
is, and
Mm-hmm.
this could be the difference between the generations, maybe, as far as what does it mean to go on a date. I think one thing is intentionality, but what are the other components of dating yourself or going on a date with someone?
I guess the purpose matters, right? Because some
Mm,
people and level of, I guess, enjoyment in a way too. So purpose in terms of like I know some people say like, "Oh yeah, like I don't like to go out to eat on a date. Like I want to do an activity because I want to see
Mm,
something about your character." Right?
mhm,
So that's something. Or maybe they're like, I really want to do something that's out of both of our comfort zones. So let's go do that and kind of see how do you
mhm,
handle uncomfortable situations, or is this someone
mhm,
who can explore with me, and just kind of things like that. Or people, I know for me, I don't like movie dates because we're just sitting there watching the screen and we're not doing anything. I'm not learning about you, and then we're going to talk about the movie. So we
yeah,
become like more intimate in knowing the movie, and I don't even know anything about you, and we just
yeah.
spent all this time doing that. And I think just if you're dating yourself, I mean, there are so many things about who we are as people that we don't necessarily know until we try new things. So if there's different hobbies I've always wanted to try, like let's say if I want to do pottery or something like that, then I'll go find a studio around here and go do pottery. If I
Mm,
just want to just if and I can invite my friends into that as well, right? I don't think dating yourself means you have to exclude other people, because you can learn about yourself through other people. Like if I've never been camping before, then hey, guys, do you want to go camping with me? And I might learn something about myself in that camping experience. But I
mm,
think ultimately why I really advocate for dating yourself, and I know for some people it can sound self-centered to say that, like, treating yourself or whatever, but it's really like, I think that it's so important because number one, I think God designed us, and I think it's worthwhile learning who He created us to be and to give
mm,
ourselves time to do that instead of just rushing into relationships with people. Or, we get caught up in the system that the world puts us in. So we go through,
mm,
we're born, and then we go to kindergarten, and then we go to elementary school, and then we go to high school, and then we go to college, and then we got debt on us. Now we got to go to work, and then you get married, and then you have kids, and then you turn 66 and you retire. And so it's like,
mm.
how many
Ouch.
times, how many times within that do we actually get to stop and say, who am I? What do I love to do? Like, I know what the world is telling me I need to do, but who am I as a person? And so I think singleness really does offer that opportunity to get to know who you are as a person, to explore what you love. And we don't necessarily have to use like rush into relationships like romantically with other people, because it can distract us from that. It can also help us, but we also have to know ourselves, you know?
Right.
So
mm.
So I do have a couple, well, like questions for Brittany, because to me, if I'm going out with my friends, then that's not dating myself, right? Because that's like me spending time with my friends. And of course, that does help you to get to know each other. But I would say, so I am open to this. So that's one. So what is, when you talk about going out with your friends as a date, how is that dating yourself? And then the other component for me is that, so I haven't done the dating yourself thing, but believe it or not, when I was a little younger, my 20s, say late 20s, I actually took a year off from work.
Mhm.
And I completely forgot, as I'm talking to you all, is now coming to me. So I took a year off. Like, I finished this really good contract, working with the government at the time. And I also was teaching part-time at the local university. And I took a year off and I decided I'm single. I had actually I just turned 30, like 30. I didn't have any kids. I didn't have a house. I didn't have a car. As the old people would say in the Caribbean, I did not have a parrot on a stick, which means that I owned nothing, right? I was still living at home. I didn't even have a boyfriend, no significant other. And I said, you know what? I've done all these things for so many people up until this point in my life. I'm going to take a year off not working. So I refused to renew any contract. I decided that I was just going to do whatever I wanted to do. At the time, it did not go down very well with my Caribbean parents, right? Didn't go very well at all. I did have like a lump sum that I had received from that job. So I had money to last me for the year. And I proceeded to take that, just a year off. And if you want to call that a 365-day date with myself, then I did that. So, and looking back, I have absolutely no regrets about it. I mean, in terms of the conflict it may have created with my family, that is on one level. But on another level, I got to know myself. And I faced my biggest fear, which was, one of them was being without a job, right?
Mhm.
Just having all this education, doing all the things your parents want you to do, and still coming out and not having a job. In this instance, I chose not to have a job. And I said to myself, if I had one more day to live, would I stay in this current job? And then if I'm not staying in this job, what would I do? And I did exactly that for 1 year. And that's another show. I won't go into that. But suffice to say, I was still a good Christian girl, still following good Christian values. But I just said, what would I do? And I think that was a great eye opener for me. And I think based on that year, that kind of gave me like a stepping stool going forward, because then after that, I was like, okay, this is my purpose. This is what I need to be doing. This is what I'm going to be doing for the next how much years until God says otherwise. But again, that's a whole different concept. But yeah, back to Brittany with the sharing of the
No, but
spending time with your friends.
but I do have a question here, right?
Mhm.
Because you bring your experience, that is something unique and different. I don't know how many people have done that to that extreme of not working for a whole year. Not everybody's privileged to be able to have that opportunity. However, during that year, it seems that you were intentional and looking and searching for something.
Mhm.
Would you say that during that year, you collected a lot of information about yourself?
Yes. Yes. Including, how would I deal with conflict?
Mhm,
Including, what do I really want to do with my life?
mhm,
Right? Because up until that point, I'd done what everyone else wanted me to do, and
mhm.
the good Christian girl thing.
Right,
What do I want? And again, I didn't have any responsibilities. I
right,
didn't have a child, I didn't have a mortgage, I didn't have a car note, I didn't have, you know.
right.
So
And
what is there to hold me back from doing whatever God has put in my heart to do? You know, or whatever I feel that I God put in my heart, because I could have been totally wrong, right?
so when you have these time where you are alone, right?
Mhm.
are you learning anything about yourself? Are you having thoughts, thinking, exploring, um, taking that time to, I guess, slow down and collect information about your next steps, about what do I really like? What do I really want? Are you having that kind of conversation or thoughts?
I mean, I do, but I don't need to go out by myself
No, no, no,
to do it.
no, 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 no. I just said, are you doing it? It's either
Yeah, I mean, I do. I do, but
okay,
it's a different stage and phase of my life as well, right? So I am a single
granted.
mom. So there's not a lot of opportunities for me to be by myself. Like my daughter literally follows me into the bathroom. Like, come on. And the funny thing is, I used to do the same thing to my mom, right? So I don't know, ladies, how you all were with you. Like moms are like, I feel like my mom was just sent from by God, right? I felt like she couldn't go out of my sight. Like from the moment she stepped out of my sight, I feel like I would miss something, you
Mhm,
know?
mhm.
So I used to follow my mom into the bathroom. And my daughter now follows me into the bathroom. Like, I'm like, come on, this is my
Right.
one little space, my one little space within this house, right? That I can actually close the door and then she unlocks the door and comes in.
So here's another question. I'm going to tie this all together. When you go on a date with a male, right?
Uh-huh.
What is it that you're doing when you go on a date with a male? You're getting to know him. Are you collecting information
Of course.
about
Yeah.
who he is, what he does, all of that? What you know, collecting what you like or don't like?
Mm-hmm. I am.
And so my thought is this: I think that when we put the word dating, people just have these perceived ideas of what it's supposed to look like, what it
Okay.
means. Where
Okay.
I have now adopted the definition of dating is really to collect data,
Mm.
rather
Yeah.
collecting data on myself or
Mm-hmm.
someone else,
Mhm.
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And you know, and there are multiple ways of how you can collect data.
Mm-hmm.
It could be
Mm-hmm.
a one-on-one
Mm-hmm.
interaction. It could be in a group setting
Mm-hmm.
to just collect data. And so
Mm-hmm.
even if I'm out with groups of women, I'm collecting data.
Mm-hmm.
I might be
Mm-hmm.
collecting data about myself, like, man, I can't stand these type of women, right? Or man, I don't like to be late. I can't stand someone who does X, Y, or Z. You know,
Right.
you're
Right.
learning about yourself. So therefore, as you approach any type of relationship, especially with someone you're thinking about living the rest of your life, to see, is this realistic? I
Yeah.
want to be able to collect all the data, and does the data make sense that this would turn out to be not say a good outcome, but this is something I can tolerate. This is something that I'm willing to enter into this equation and see if it works.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, what I want to tell you, you've been dating yourself.
Well, yeah. Like, but I mean, like I said, like it's not. Well, if you define it like that, I guess I have, but I don't intentionally go out and say I'm going out for me. Like it's just me going to do this, blah 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 blah. You know,
Mm,
if I'm not out with friends, if I'm not in a group setting, then definitely I will be at home.
mhm.
You know, so if I'm having home dates, then so be it.
I do. You did ask me earlier
Mhm,
about how is it considered dating if you are
mhm,
with friends, and I
mhm,
think it's the same way where if you were dating a person, you went on a group date, you can still
mm,
learn just as much about yourself as you can. Like I think what we're
mm.
battling with here is what is dating and what does it
Okay.
look like? Because we all
Okay.
have different ideas of what a date is, and
Right.
everybody has that different picture, right? And so even that in itself is something to explore. What do I
Right.
consider a date, right? Like now
Right.
you see videos of men trying to do something really nice, and then you have some women who are like, okay, where's the flowers? You know, or like just little things like that where it's
Yeah.
like there's a disconnect. So
Yeah.
I think that could be based on just our own ideas versus expectations versus whatever, but that's also worth exploring, right?
It
Um,
is. It
so
is.
yeah.
So then it's almost like we can come up with a list of dating ideas for ourselves, right? And we start with ourselves. and then maybe in a group setting, right? Because again, somebody might consider a date coming home, staying home and watching a movie. And then for someone else, they're like, that's not a date.
Yeah, at least not for a first date, because
That's their first date. And even a date with yourself, you might be like, I want to take myself out. I want to take my,
yeah. I think the point is really just to learn about yourself. And
Yeah.
even if it's still a date, even if you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, because you gained
Ooh,
information
good
about
point.
yourself.
Good point. So if you don't enjoy the occasion or the event, some people think it's not a real date. Or you might tell yourself it's not a real date. Right. So
Yeah.
whether you're by yourself or with someone else. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. Because we were like, that was a bad date. You know, like, oh no, I would never do that again. Right.
You got data.
Oh.
The app, listen.
Oh wow.
Data. She was collecting. And I've
Wow.
done that, right? Where now that I think about it, there's certain things I've collected data on, like, yeah, I'm not doing this with a group of people anymore, right? I didn't like it.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
we're not doing this again, right? And so if the idea or the opportunity presented itself again, would I say yes or no? I
Okay.
can only use the data I collected from before, from my past experience, to say this is how I want to move forward. And you know, when we were talking about like solo dates, or if you were saying dating yourself, there is actually a book. I don't know if you guys seen it online, where it's like a date yourself challenge or solo date ideas, where it's really trying to push the idea of how can you learn more about yourself by experiencing things. I thought about getting it myself or getting it for someone, just so I could be nosy and see what's in it, right?
Right.
And so giving you different date ideas. I was just trying to see if I can pull it up. I saw it on my Instagram page and I was looking at it. So one of the ideas, I'm just looking at the idea, is treat yourself to a massage.
Yes.
Oh yeah, but is that like, what if I do regular massages? Like, is that
Then you go on regular dates.
is a massage a date though?
See, it's the mindset.
It is.
It's the mindset.
I mean, it's part of taking care of yourself, but is that a date? So a date is a date like something, is a date an event? Is it a happening? Is it an occasion? Is it like self-care? Like, what is the date?
It could
If
be
it's a
all
get
those
to know you piece. Because if I sit down and say I sit down at home and I'm in the porch and I start talking to myself, I'm like, girl, what did you do today? And I answer back, well, I did this, that, and the other. And like, I mean, like, what?
When you start answering yourself, that's not a date. That's an appointment to some type of psychiatric need. That's what
I heard it's a sign of a strong mind.
And the point is, what's the true, because that definition seems so broad. If I am at home and I decide I'm going to cook a meal, is that a date? I have to cook and eat every day anyway. But if I stay at home, right, I'm at home today and I cook, is that a date? Right?
You can
so go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, like you can make it one. I think a date can be all of those things, because it depends on what phase of the dating stage that you're in, right? And then on top of that, let's say, yes, you cook for yourself every day, but maybe one day you're like, you know what? I really want to have like a candlelit dinner, and I'm by myself. My kids are gone. I have the house to myself, and let me make this meal that I've always wanted to try to make. And so you make it special. Even though it's an everyday activity, people can go out to eat all the time. It's a common thing, but they make it special by choosing a certain place. Or maybe they're like, let's dress up when we actually go out today. Or, let's try a dish that we haven't tried before. And it just becomes something where it's intentional, right?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
It's just a little creative.
I like that. When you live in a family though, and you try some of those things and you're like, oh, I'll put out the candlelight stuff, and they're like, what's going on? It's like, taking away from.
That's
But
when
yeah,
you teach
you have
them
to be
how
by
to
yourself.
date themselves.
Right. Or maybe dating yourself that's going to have to look different, right? So that you don't
Right.
have to
Mm,
experience judgment from someone
mhm.
like, what are you doing? So
Exactly.
it might be different.
And they come in and blow out every candle.
Maybe dating yourself is you running your own bubble bath, right? In your
True,
own privacy, right? You
true,
know,
true.
because I like what Brittany's saying is your perspective. What do you bring to it?
Mhm,
Being the intentionality about it.
mhm.
Because cooking, you cook every day, but what makes
Yeah,
it special that you're doing
right.
it for yourself? That's where
Yeah.
community
Mm,
come along. I'm
mhm,
doing this for myself.
mhm.
I'm setting it apart than any other regular time, right? It's not chores, right? It's not like, oh, I have to do this. It's
Right.
not maintenance, like hygiene maintenance. It's not, no, I do all of this stuff all the time. However, I want to be intentional and do
Right,
this a little bit special. You know,
right.
it's not something I normally would do, but you know
Mhm.
what? Today, I'm going to do it either by myself or in a group.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I do like the idea. I do like the idea. Um, Probably the closest I've come. Well, yeah, I do some of that, but I also do mommy daughter dates. So I've been doing that for a few
Mm.
years. So my daughter and I we go on dates. At first, I was like, why would I want to date my daughter? Like, might give her the wrong idea, about.
About cleaving, leaving and cleaving.
But yeah, so we've done that for a few years, and it can range from our favorite spot has been IHOP. We do IHOP.
Oh, wow.
The library, she would love the library. We do the library and do the book. Go and listen to the storytelling thingy, and also do like go on walks and stuff. So yeah, I guess it's time for me to do some dating for myself. Hmm. Hmm.
Did we win?
I think we converted her.
We converted Ayana. Self-dating, right?
And
Dating
this
yourself.
video is the receipts.
There you go.
This is the receipt.
There we go.
Yeah. Good job, ladies. Honestly, I really wasn't with the concept. I still, well, off air. Well, for our listeners, you wouldn't know we didn't disagree. We disagreed on some things
Strongly,
related to the dating.
strongly disagreed.
Yeah, strongly disagree.
Yes. So, this is great. Good. I mean, thank you, Brittany. Because if it was just me,
Yeah, she would not have won. She would not.
no, no, not at all. But I think it's important, definitely for women, for men. Date yourself. Get to know yourself.
Yeah,
You can always Google if you just don't know what to do. Type
yeah,
it in Google.
yeah.
Say, hey, ideas for dating yourself, and it's the
Right.
intentionality behind it, right? Being intentional, and doing something different, make it
Mhm.
special, learn about yourself, learn about the things that you like, you don't like, by yourself or with friends.
And Brittany, Candy, and I can go out. We can sit at 3 different tables in the restaurant. Pretend like we don't know each other.
You're saying that we should do that?
We should.
Hey, I wouldn't mind. I probably keep looking at you guys like, what are you doing?
Oh,
What are
I would
you
people
doing?
watch. I have a rich inner world. Like I could just sit there and just
Ooh,
like look out the
wow.
window, look at other people.
So she really would pretend like she doesn't know us.
You know what?
I would
People
stick with the
watching,
script.
I enjoy people watching, but for some reason, not by myself. I like to do it
Because
with
you look
other
like a
people.
creep. It's giving stalker,
Ooh,
right?
that's true too. That's true
Because now
too.
you just went to a restaurant by yourself and you're
Yeah.
just staring at people.
No, you're right. Absolutely. But people do that all the time. They're
They
They
staring at
do.
do.
you.
They
And I
do.
think what really, and sometimes it's really how like the discomfort in ourselves. Like some people don't even really know. Now, okay, yeah, like if someone
Mm.
looks at you when you're looking at them and you look away and you've done that like 3 times, it's time to just change your table. Like it's just time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks weird.
What are you talking? Man, that happened to me yesterday. I was at an event or I was in church and I just turned back because sometimes the PowerPoint is presented on the back wall, and I was
Mhm.
getting closer to the back of the church. And when I turned around, I met this face staring at me. And so, like, oh, she's staring at me. Okay. I turn around, you still staring at me. So guess what? I stared back at her.
Ooh.
Turned quickly, and I smiled. And then she smiled. And then she turned away. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. I just
Yeah.
wanted to share that. I thought that was quite
Yes.
interesting.
That's
But
funny.
people watching with other people, I like to do that because then I can have conversation and make up a story in my mind about what they're doing and why they're doing it.
What?
Have you ever done that?
Okay, so okay, y'all steering me away from dating yourself after these
No, no, no,
conversations.
no, 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 no. This is not part of people dating yourself. This is just talking about people watching. I think we're going on another tangent.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. The last time I did that, like in terms of making up what people did really like that, my brother and I were much younger, and we used to think most people were like serial killers or something.
Oh, oh no. Oh no. I used
Yeah.
I used to do that in college where based on where I was working, we would look outside of a window and we're looking at the courtyard, and I'll come up with stories like you see students running. Of course,
Right.
it's after 9 o'clock. So, classes start at 9. And we're like, oh, this person is late. They're running the class, they're late. And they meet up with a person. Their person like, hey, did you take notes? Do you
What?
have the quiz? We'll just come up with sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, dating
Huh.
yourself. Let's go back on topic. We hope that you guys were able to get some type of ideas or just inspired to be brave and to date yourself. Look up different things you can do by
Yep.
yourself or with groups. We thank you, Brittany, for joining us in this conversation,
Happy birthday.
inspiring us to really get to know who we are before we join someone else in that journey of life in marriage or relationship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Anything else you want to add, Ayana, to close out?
Yeah, I mean, I'll think about my first date. I'll definitely reach out to both either Candy or Brittany or both for some ideas for my first official date, my me date.
Yeah.
So not mommy and me anymore, but just some me,
Yes.
me, mine, me.
Yeah. Love it.
Yes. Brittany, any
Anytime.
closing words?
Yeah. Brittany.
Just don't be afraid to be alone.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean that from a physical sense. It's not bad to be alone. And I think if you are able to really discover just the person that God designed you to be and give just space for that, I think it'll combat the feeling of loneliness, especially when we don't need to feel it. So other people are important for sure, but I think it's also important. It helps with self-esteem when we know why we're made and what we're here for. And I think when you have good self-esteem and confidence, that makes you even better for a relationship, whether it's for friends or your family members or romantic relationship or marriage. All of those things play a factor. But when we don't know who we are and we don't like who we are, it does start to bleed into the relationships that we have. So don't be afraid to be alone.
All right.
Sounds good. Well, with that being said, we are Triple B
out.